This game is wrapping up in Baltimore, and the Ravens are going to end up watching another big-time home game go the way of the opponent. In the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, it was Kansas City that outduked the Ravens, and today the same thing for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are going to move to 10-2, and what can you say about the way that Saquon Barkley has completely re-energized this offense and in many ways saved the season, saved the offense early on when the offense couldn't get in gear. This has been a remarkable run for Saquon, and I know that many people, the easy thing will be to once again blame the Giants tomorrow morning. I'm not here to do that because you guys have heard this from me in the past. I don't think the Giants made the wrong decision in not signing Saquon Barkley. The Giants have a lot of holes. Saquon was going to take them from a 2-win team to a 4-win team this year. It wasn't really going to matter. And so giving him multi-years, tons of cash was not going to be the difference between saving this franchise and saving Daniel Jones either. Okay? So ultimately, it was better served to spend that money elsewhere. It just so happened he went in the division. It just so happened he had an MVP caliber season. But that's not the Giants' fault. The Giants' fault is having been so bad that they haven't been able to find a quarterback. They drafted the wrong guy. They've spun through coaches. And now they're watching him succeed elsewhere where they couldn't do anything with him. They couldn't win with him. They aren't winning without him. But Saquon today tallies 107 yards and a touchdown. The touchdown that ices this ball game. And, you know, maybe this is a little different if Justin Tucker hits a couple of field goals and extra points. But I'll tell you, that is something that's going to haunt this Ravens team throughout the end of the year, wondering what is going on with our kicker. And for the Eagles, the best thing you could say about Nick Sirianni is he's gotten the hell out of the way. He's not screwing it up. And this is an offense right now that's just basically put the saddle on Saquon's back, and they're running you to death. And frankly, I like seeing it because even on a day where Jalen Hurts throws for less than 150 yards, they're still able to put the points up on the board that they need to win this football game and get out of Dodge with a dub. And that's the type of game, that's the type of play, that's the type of style, and that's the type of opponent that the Eagles are going to need to get through to finally win the elusive Super Bowl post Nick Foles. Saquon's been amazing. Saquon was amazing again today. But Saquon also is, I think, a symbol of the way the Eagles are now winning football games. They're winning games by doing it ugly. They're winning games by running the football. They're winning games by getting back to their bread and butter. Ground it, two-headed monster, move the chains, move the pile, put up some sixes, and you know what? Play some stout defense. They did that today in the win against the Ravens as the Eagles move to 10-2 and look to be the number one challenger in the NFC to the dominance of the Detroit Lions. Early in the season, the Eagles did not look anything like a contender. Nick Sirianni is getting run out of Philadelphia on a rail. How they end up at 10-2 right now and in a win streak.
You know what? I know that it's an overused expression by a lot of sports people, but I think you do have to trust the process and trust everything that's going on. And I think that there was some obvious skepticism in the early part of the season because of the way the year ended last season. How could you not be skeptical of Nick Sirianni at this point? But like you said, as I was listening in before I came on, like they got back to basics. Like you have legitimate football players all around the ball. Go out there and trust those guys to do what they're going to do. I know that you didn't want to rely too much on the brotherly shove or anything like that, or you didn't want to expose Jalen Hurts too much running the football, but it is what makes this team effective. And it really does. And when you see them play the Ravens, it's kind of a nice combination where you have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry against Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. Like that's a World Wrestling Federation tag team match from the 80s where you got like the Hart Foundation going up against Beefcake and Valentine or the British Bulldogs or somebody like that, like whomever, the Rockers, whoever. Like it is a real great combination. And I think what I really like about the Eagles, and they got the A.J. Brown. When you have A.J. Brown, like that to me separates the Eagles from a lot of these teams because Zay Flowers is nice, and some of these other guys are pretty good. But A.J. Brown is a legitimate top 5 talent, and he just makes this Eagles team so much better.